community, your stories. WBZ News at 11.
Now at noon, bleeding and unconscious, a woman found underneath a car in a local mall has died, and we've learned of an arrest in connection with the case.
A new storm moving in presents a new problem for evening commuters.
And a nice sight, some spring bling for the Red Sox. The world champs are getting sized for their rings. And we also have the latest on the contract negotiations of David Ortiz.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at Noon starts right now.
Collapses under the weight of snow and ice in Framingham, trapping animals underneath. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. I'm Paula Evan. Right now, we know that 2 cows there have died. And take a look. Crews have been working hard all morning long to try to free several other trapped animals as well. WBZ's Christina Hager has the story from Framingham.
Cows covered in blankets being treated with IV fluids.
It's a lot of stress. There was impact injuries, and I'm sure, sometimes with these animals, it's the emotional stress as much as anything.
4 of them had to be extricated from the structure that fell on top of them, a barn collapsing under the weight of ice and snow.
So we were cutting the barn away from the animals. Very labor-intensive, a lot of digging with shovels to remove snow. We had chainsaws.
Rescue crews were able to help 4 other cows to their feet. 2 did not make it.
It's going to be a problem with this snow. If it rains again, there are going to be roofs all over Massachusetts, So I'm going to go get snow off of my barn right now.
That was a neighboring farmer who says he's going to be checking his roofs now. This was discovered at about 6:30 this morning, so police and fire officials don't know how long those cows had been trapped before it was discovered, about 10 cows to begin with. So now veterinarians and farm workers are working on the surviving cows, moving them to a safe area. Meantime, the deputy chief says this should serve as a warning to everyone about crew dogs. In Framingham, Christina Hager.
That was Christina Hager reporting from Framingham. We just had a little bit of a problem hearing her with volume, but if you haven't cleared snow off your roof yet, that's just a good indication of why you need to do it now. Rain is on the way for most of us, and that could mean trouble for homes and businesses. Meteorologist Todd Gucker has his eye on the storm. Beautiful sunshine out, Todd, which presents a whole other group of problems.
Yeah, Paula, it's a tough job getting the snow off the roofs, but it's probably one that should be done these next couple of days. We have some moisture coming in now, both rain and snow, and another round expected on Friday. So it's going to start to weigh down on those rooftops. Here's this slug coming in for the afternoon. In a few hours, it'll be bypassing the state. And we're looking at a messy commute for most folks, especially to the north and west of Boston. I expect some rain and snow to get to Worcester by about 1 or 1:30, and then to Boston between 2:30 and 3. And it will continue. A few downpours expected in Boston for the evening commute. So some hydroplaning issues in Boston with the rain and points south and east. But there may be a little zone in here of some icing. There may be a thin glaze that forms on some surfaces that are untreated, like decks and sidewalks and front stairs. So please be careful. 128 out to about 495. And a little more snow as you head up to the Worcester area, the Worcester Hills, a coating to as much as 2 inches with additional snow of 2 to 4 inches for ski country. This is this system. Behind it, we're actually going to warm things up for the second half of the week. I think you'll like the temperatures, which I will share with you coming up at about 12:15. Paula, let's get back to you.
Hope we like them, Todd. Thank you. Well, there has been an arrest in connection with the death of a woman who was found at the Auburn Mall. Police say that the woman was unconscious and bleeding underneath a car when they found her body last night. WBZ's Jim Smith is live in Auburn now with the details. Jim?
Good afternoon, Paula. It's certainly a sad and bizarre story at the Auburn Mall, a story that now takes us here to Worcester District Court. In a short time, a man will be arraigned in connection with this case. 27-year-old Vu Van No of Worcester is charged with deliberately misleading a police investigation. It's a case that alarms everyone at the shopping center where the woman was found.
I'm definitely going to take some extra precautions when I come out to my car after work.
Anxious moments at the Auburn Mall. Extra security after a horrible discovery Tuesday afternoon. A woman was found unconscious and bleeding underneath a car in a mall parking garage. She would later die.
When I found out that it happened, I was in shock, definitely.
A woman's body in the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, in a parking lot that I come to every day, 40 hours a week, it's pretty crazy.
The mall was busy when fire and police were called to the scene. When they found the woman, it was unclear if she was even breathing.
We were dispatched for an unconscious female, found underneath the vehicle that was bleeding and unknown breathing status. She was transported to UMass Hospital, and from there, the police are investigating.
The discovery left shoppers shaken, but they weren't the only ones. Some mall employees are also frightened.
I never thought that we would need to feel any sort of danger here, because I mean it's just the Auburn Mall, but apparently you can find the danger anywhere.
Once again, repeating the developing news here, a suspect in custody, 27-year-old Vu Van Yo of Worcester. He is here at the courthouse about to be arraigned, charged with misleading a police investigation. Live at Worcester District Court, Jim Smith, WBZ News. Paula, back to you.
Jim, thanks. Well, something hit a car near the Bourne Bridge, and it certainly has the attention of state police. We have some live pictures for you now near the Bourne Bridge from Sky Eye. This happened about 7 o'clock last night on Route 25 westbound, right by the bridge. Police are only describing the object that hit the car as an unknown projectile. And we'll have more on this story coming up for you tonight on WBZ News at 5. Right now, Boston police are investigating a shooting in Roslindale overnight. A man was shot on Hyde Park Avenue about 1 a.m. He's being treated at Brigham and Women's Hospital. Police haven't released his name or the details of what happened there. And a standoff outside a Massachusetts hospital over. Last night, police say a man shot his wife, brought her to the emergency room at Bay State Medical Center, then went back outside alone and refused to leave his car. Police say the man then shot himself, but the woman is expected to survive. More violence in Ukraine. At least 25 people are dead. Hundreds are hurt as protesters say they are very upset with that Ukraine rejected a trade deal with the European Union in favor of a similar deal with Russia. Nottingham has the latest now.
Fires burned in Kiev's Independence Square, where anti-government protesters are trying to stand their ground. Clashes between the demonstrators and police erupted Tuesday, leaving dozens dead and injuring more than 100. It's the worst violence this country has seen since it left the Soviet Union 22 years ago. Wednesday, riot police were positioned to clear the main square as protesters in helmets stood behind shields with homemade firebombs. Peaceful demonstrations began late last year after Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych turned away from a trade deal with the European Union and accepted a bailout from Russia. The protesters want the president to resign. He and his Russian allies have called this a coup attempt.
Washington is condemning the violence. The White House is calling on the Ukraine government to pull back riot police and hold talks with the opposition.
The Obama administration is considering sanctions aimed at stopping the bloodshed. The European Union will meet Thursday and has already agreed on sanctions.
We call on all sides to put an end to violence immediately and to engage into a serious dialogue.
Back in Kiev's main square, neither side is backing down. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
Well, today, President Obama is heading to Mexico for a North American Leaders Summit. He's expected to weigh in on what's happening in the Ukraine. He'll also meet with Mexico's president and Canada's prime minister to discuss immigration, security, and energy issues. This is the first time that Mr. Obama has met with the Mexican president since it was revealed the NSA spied on him before he was elected back in 2012. Well, when we come back, David Ortiz dismissing comments about his contract. His choice words for local reporters as the Sox take the field in Fort Myers. Also ahead, will he or won't he run in New Hampshire? New information in on Scott Brown that might give us a better idea of which way he's leaning. And a mom so upset about some t-shirts, she got out her wallet and took matters into her own hands.
When winter storms hit New England, no one covers them quite like WBZ.
WBZ Accuweather team has had this storm covered.
It's just been steady snow since we rolled up here.
Some rains just over an inch per hour.
Starting to get some new totals in for you.
About a half foot on the ground here at Government Center.
Let's take a live look from Mobile 4 right now. Governor Patrick on the phone.
You're on Twitter, Facebook, in our chat room, on our website.
What's doing all the radio stations in town?
You're all over.
When winter's at its worst, we're here for you. WBZ Accuweather.
Sleepy's President's Day sale is being held over with half off practically every mattress in the store. Get Beauty Rest Queen sets starting at just $3.99. Only at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals. making the world a better place to sleep.
This weekend only, it's the New England Home Show at the Seaport World Trade Center, Boston, Friday through Sunday. This home show has it all. Windows, doors, roofing, siding, the latest in kitchens and baths, and more. Get special deals on remodeling, renovating, and landscaping. Check out the Chef Fest, the Furniture Project, Artisan Craft Pavilion, and so much more at the New England Home Show. Get details and savings online at newenglandhomeshows.com.
Circus Oz is coming to Boston. Don't miss the National Circus of Australia as they bring their riveting new spectacle to the City Schubert Theater, School Vacation Week. It's high-flying fun for the whole family. For tickets, visit celebrityseries.org.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
With Luna, buy one room of flooring, get all other rooms of product for just $50 each. 877-241. Luna.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by the New England Home Show.
Well, it's a big day for the Boston Red Sox off the field at spring training. The team is getting fitted for their World Series rings. The Sox tweeted, Big Papi checking out the selection with the caption, The King getting another fit for another ring. Xander Bogaerts and Jackie Bradley Jr. wrap up their first big league season with some new hardware as well, and Johnny Gomes signed off on getting his new ring. Well, we expect to hear David Ortiz talk more about his contract when he goes before reporters in Fort Myers. The Sox slugger took some swings at positional players reported as positional players reported for spring training yesterday, but Big Papi also had some words for the media. There was an interview in the Boston Herald where Ortiz said, quote, I don't even know why they're blank about me talking about contracts. Guys putting up my numbers, they're making $25-30 million. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for half of it, and they're still blanking about it. Blank them. I'm tired of hearing them talk blank about me when I talk about my contract. Hey, every time I talk about my contract, I earn it. So don't give me that blank. You can fill in the blanks yourself. Our own Dan Roach is with the Sox down in Fort Myers, and he'll have a live report. Should be interesting tonight on WBZ News at 5 o'clock. Well, contrary to published reports, Scott Brown is not cutting ties with Fox News. The Washington Post is reporting that Brown has re-upped his deal as a contributor with the channel, citing a Fox News executive. They say Brown's one-year contract expired February 11th. He was renegotiating his deal, and the deal could be a sign that Brown may not be running for Senate in New Hampshire. Democrat Jean Shaheen is running for re-election there, of course, and Brown has moved his primary residence to Rye, New Hampshire, and would have until June to get on the ballot there. Still ahead, news from Sochi, and it involves New Hampshire skier Bodie Miller's future and a plea for help for victims and survivors of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings.
Paula, another storm system moving in at a bad time. This one here will present problems for evening commuters. The details are coming up after the break. Stick around.
He pushes me down, slams my head against the ground. You never struck him with a ball of fist.
I want you to tell me the truth.
Judge Judy.
Today at 4 on WBZ-TV.
CBS tonight.
Tonight, it's all about you.
Meet a couple who is crazy in love.
We're looking for a married couple to whom we can attribute at least 13 deaths.
They promised shelter and a warm shower.
Come with me, sweetheart.
This couple's homicidal tendencies surfaced once they met.
Love is strange. It'll make you do the craziest things.
After my accident, Mako fixed my BMW. Handled insurance, rental car, it was easy.
They do great auto body work, same as dealerships. And I saved so much money with the options they gave me, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
My son's car was painted at Mako. He liked the work, but I liked the price.
17 million Americans turn to Mako for quality paint and collision repair.
So choose Mako for collision.
And paint. Come to the body shop that's easy, affordable, and reliable. Mako, America's body shop.
The cold can overwhelm even the toughest amongst us. And when Courtney is sick and cold in her own home, it just breaks her mother's heart. Courtney is winning her fight with leukemia, but her mother had to quit working, and the heating bills just keep piling up. My little pal Dylan continues his fight against cancer, while his dad works 2 jobs to keep food in the fridge and oil in the tank. Lindsay's mother still struggles to keep the heat on, even though Lindsay, thank goodness, is in remission. Citgo Petroleum, the people of Venezuela, and President Maduro are once again the only oil company and the only country to answer our call to provide heating assistance to the poor. They make it possible for nonprofit Citizens Energy to deliver millions of gallons of heating oil to families in need. I'm Joe Kennedy. If you need help, call me at 1-877-JOE-FOR-OIL, because no one should be left out in the cold.
Some are novices, some are triathletes, some ride for their family and friends, and some ride for themselves, but they all ride for a cause. Be a part of the fight against cancer at the 35th Pan Mass Challenge. 12 routes through 46 towns across Massachusetts. Join us in the effort to raise $40 million for research and patient care at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. The Pan Mass Challenge, August 2nd and 3rd. For more information, go to cbsboston.com/PMC.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by BMW of Peabody.
Happening today, Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey is set to unveil a new gun control measure. The Democrats' bill would require guns to feature new technology designed to increase safety. It would also set aside more federal money for gun violence research. And the town of Newtown, Connecticut is asking for more money to help those affected by the Sandy Hook shootings. 400 people are still in counseling. Many of those are the emergency medical technicians and police who first responded to the shootings. Officials are applying for an $8 million grant from the federal government to help residents there receive mental health care. Now to Olympic coverage, and here's our spoiler alert. If you'd rather not know what's happened today, you can turn down your volume for a few seconds. Here we go. Bodie Miller may have competed in his last Olympic race. He tweaked his knee on the slalom today, so now he's pulling out of the last Alpine race. Miller says his knee has been bothering him. He had surgery, had to miss all of last season, and he will be 40 when the 2018 Winter Games come around. So he owns 6 Olympic medals, including a bronze he picked up last weekend. And the Russian men's hockey team will have to wait another 4 years for a chance at an Olympic medal. Bruins goalie Tuukka Rask, playing for Finland with 37 saves, helped his team defeat the Russians 3-1. So Russian and Soviet teams have won 8 Olympic gold medals, but none in the last 22 years. And taking a look at the medal count today, Russia is in the top spot, tied with the Netherlands at 22. Team USA isn't far behind, though, with 21 medals. And as the temperatures start to rise, so does the danger of falling ice. Look at that. Streets in cities like Chicago and New York have been closed after sheets of ice have come crashing down from hundreds of high-rise buildings. Talk about dangerous. And the melting snow and ice could also cause roof collapses, as we've seen around here, flooding in some areas. And Todd, I gotta say, driving in on the Mass Pike this morning with the beautiful sun out today, temperatures a little warmer. Yeah. Sheets of snow and ice coming off tractor trailers and SUVs. You gotta clear that stuff.
Some of those icicles on the buildings, they're like these projectile weapons, you know, and the temperatures are going to be moderating these next few days, so we have to think about that. Think about the weight on the roofs. Probably a good idea to get that roof rake out and get some of that snow off. I know it's a tough job.
And it's not going to be easy this afternoon.
No, another commuting issue as we head through the afternoon hours and evening. Winter weather advisory through 10 o'clock this evening for central Massachusetts, the Pioneer Valley, including the city of Worcester, and points up into the north. As you go into New Hampshire, there'll be issues there too. 29 degrees Nashua, 21 though in Keene, 31 in Worcester, 27 out in Springfield. You get closer to eastern Mass and Boston, it's above freezing by a couple of degrees. The issue is though, the air is pretty dry. So when moisture starts to fall in it, it's going to evaporate, and that will cool things down a little bit. So we'll have some snowflakes mixing with these raindrops, and there's a chance that we get a little thin, tiny glaze of ice in some of the surfaces in the western suburbs and also up into the Merrimack Valley as this next weather system cruises on through. Not very big. It's only going to last about 2 or 3 hours, but it does have a little chunk of moisture in there that'll be pretty potent. So some downpours during the evening commute will result in a lot of water on the roads because water can't get down into those storm drains. So hydroplaning an issue in Boston, and then off to the north and west we'll have some slushy coatings of snow. Again, there could be a little zone in here that has some ice between 128 and 495 up in the Merrimack Valley, the Neshoba Valley perhaps, and then a couple of inches of snow through the Worcester Hills. Northern New England is more snow, 2 to 4 inches in fact. And that's good for the ski resorts. And obviously yesterday's storm was great for the ski resorts, not only in northern New England, but southern New England as well. Later tonight, there'll be one final burst of rain and snow showers that comes through, and then the temperatures drop. So be careful. Refreezing, a lot of black ice issues, and just plain old ice issues tomorrow morning with temperatures in the 20s. So watch your step early on. The sun will be out. That'll help a little bit after 8 o'clock. West winds will be light. Your temperature going out the door 26. Midday, look at this. Nice about face, 40 degrees. Nice and mild tomorrow with the sunshine, and the wind won't be too strong either. Generally light out of the west. And clouds will advance in later on in the afternoon and evening with a high temperature close to 45 degrees. Another storm system in this active pattern comes through on Friday. This one's different. This is like a springtime cold front coming through, and that means windswept downpours. And there's a potential here, not the question, that we have a rumble of thunder or a flash of lightning with this kind of squall line that's going to be coming through. So some more downpours, more rain for the rooftops, and that means the snow will absorb it. Behind it, Saturday dry and a nice start to the weekend. AccuWeather 7-day forecast, rain and snow this afternoon and evening. Drive safely if you're out on the roads. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 45. Friday, wet, but spring-like at 52 degrees. And a good start to the weekend there, mostly sunny, high 48. But the cold stuff, Paula, it's not too far off. It comes back next week. There are the 20s again. Looks like most of next week temperatures below normal. So enjoy these next few days.
Wow. We just can't win.
Nope.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Well, have you ever just wanted to take action? A Utah mother was so disgusted by a T-shirt display, she bought every one they had. She showed them. Judy Cox was so upset at Pacific Somewhere, they wouldn't take down the explicit T-shirts featuring a nearly naked woman. She took matters into her own hands and spent nearly $600 and bought every one of the T-shirts. Well, oranges are very popular this time of year. Tony Tantillo shows us not only how to pick the best ones, but how to store them so they'll last.
Well, today's tip of the day is going to be a navel oranges. California navel oranges. Now, they're the most popular oranges consumed throughout the whole U.S. Easy to peel, no seeds. That's why they're so great. But selection and storage is very important. Let's talk about selection. I'm going to reach up here and grab one. When you buy it, you want to make sure, take a look at this. It's got a nice orange color all the way around. It has to be bright orange, free from any greening whatsoever. Heavy for the size, like all citrus. The heavier, full of juice, and not a lot of pulp. When you bring them home, so important to store them on the counter. Do not store them in the refrigerator at all. Cold temperatures will deplete the nutritional value and flavor of these beautiful navel oranges. And the prices right now are fantastic, especially on the medium-sized one. Navel oranges in the market, great for us, loaded with vitamin C. They are a superfood, and man, do they taste good. And I'm Tony Tantillo, your fresh grocer. Always remember to eat fresh and stay healthy. I'm going right now. Wow, they're so good.
Well, they're always fun, but a kiss cam shot at a college hockey game goes viral. The big brother who had a message for the stadium coming up.
Tony Tantillo, brought to you by Colavita, America's #1 selling Italian extra virgin olive oil.
Everywhere you go, Dan Roach is talking Red Sox on TV, on radio, and online.
That's what the players are talking about today.
Nobody gets you closer to the World Series champs than Dan Roach. Live at Red Sox Spring Training, all this week on WBZ.
It's the Jeopardy College Championship semifinals. 3 of America's best schools.
Go Middlebury.
Go Bears.
Go Harvard.
Face off for a chance to win $100,000.
Tonight at 7:30 on WBZ-TV.
Being able to provide health insurance for my employees gives me great peace of mind, knowing that if something were to happen to them or one of their family members, they would be taken care of. I've chosen Neighborhood Health Plan because my employees find high-quality physicians, they like the care that they get, their customer service is absolutely superior, and it's very affordable for a small business.
Neighborhood Health Plan. Find your plan at nhp.org or call your broker.
You'll never forget that day when the forecast for afternoon flurries became the storm of the century. Unless you have WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech liners are laser measured to custom fit and protect your specific make and model. Front, back, even up the sides. Dirt and spills stay in the liner until you wash them away. Order your WeatherTech floor liners at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMax. Complete protection, completely American made. Order your WeatherTech protection today at WeatherTech.com.
One click on buyatoyota.com and you can find the biggest selection of Toyota inventory in New England. And then see every Toyota special offer there is, even those not seen on TV. Plus, get a free independent trade-in value in seconds. Right now, see all-wheel drive leases as low as $179 a month with no cost maintenance included. Buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals.
This weekend only, it's the New England Home Show at the Seaport World Trade Center, Boston, Friday through Sunday. This home show has it all. Windows, doors, roofing, siding, the latest in kitchens and baths, and more. Get special deals on remodeling, renovating, and landscaping. Check out the Chef Fest, the Furniture Project, Artisan Craft Pavilion, and so much more at the New England Home Show. Get details and savings online at newenglandhomeshows.com.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by Regan Ford of Haverhill.
We want to bring you breaking news from Auburn, an update in the story we brought you at the top of the broadcast. A man arrested in connection with the death of a woman at the Auburn Mall is being charged now with her murder. 27-year-old Vu Van No is facing a judge right now in Worcester. The woman was found bleeding and unconscious under a car last night at the mall. We have much more for you tonight on WBZ News at 5 o'clock. Well, this is something we haven't heard since before the recession. More workers feeling confident and ready to test the job market. Coming up today at 5, why they're feeling optimistic and some of the opportunities that seem to be returning to the job market. And a young Celtics fan from New Zealand who is losing his eyesight will soon be in Boston to see his favorite team. Also at 5, the community effort to bring Louis Corbett to the United States. Well, a kiss cam shot has become a big hit online because it shows a real sign of brotherly love. Take a look. Adam Martin is a lifelong Minnesota Gophers fan. He brought his sister to the game on Valentine's night, but he wanted to make sure everyone knew they were siblings, so he brought himself a sign making it clear, that is my sister. The University of Minnesota posted Adam's sign on YouTube, and now it has more than 1 million hits so far. Adam says he hopes to have a real date the next time he goes to the game.
Came prepared.
Well, you don't want to end up on a kiss cam and have people wonder, why won't she kiss him? That's right. So all throughout the afternoon, rain in Boston, but north and west, they're going to see some more flakes.
We're going to have some slushy coatings, and there could be a very thin glaze of ice. In the end here, it's going to be a slow evening commute with some hydroplaning issues in Boston down through southeastern Mass and slippery spots to the north and west. And then, Paula, it finally warms up second half of the week.
That is going to feel really good. So another commute to be careful this afternoon.
For sure.
Thank you, Todd. Be sure to join us for our next newscast today at 5. Have a good afternoon. We'll see you then.